Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. Big week for the Navy women's soccer team. They get the season underway. A couple of matches with Charleston Southern and St. John's coming up, both on ESPN+. Joe Miller will have the call. Season opener coming up on Thursday night at the Glenn Warner Soccer Facility. Please be joined now by junior Rylee Rives. And Rylee, for your team, I'm going to put preseason prognostications aside because sometimes those can be preposterous. But for you and your team, and having already talked to Jenna and coach, how do you take the disappointment of last season, use it as motivation to make sure you raise the culture of the program back to where the level has been, obviously, set by several of the women that have played in that same uniform you have?
Yeah, so the Navy women's soccer program has a huge legacy of success, and I think that last year was definitely an outlier for a bunch of different factors. But I think every single woman on that team is someone who strives for success in all areas of their life, and no one was pleased with how that last season went. And so, all last spring was focused on our culture because that was probably one of our biggest issues, and we have 27, 28 amazing girls now who are so committed to this team and so grateful for the legacy and all the girls who have come before us. I think the technical piece always has some part of it. At the end of the day, you got to be able to play soccer. I think we had lack of chemistry, honestly, and I don't know what the reason is for that, but we didn't groove. And anyone who's ever played soccer will tell you that that's a pretty big piece. And I think we were missing a little bit of our heart and our fight, and I think we've got that back now. And I think that desire to win and that fight is what's going to help us succeed this year.
Is that something you have to have? Because as you know, when those four letters head out on the pitch, NAVNY, because of the success of the program, you all have a target on yourselves every time you go out there. And everybody knows that if we beat Navy, we've raised our standard of play. And you mentioned chemistry. Is that one of the things you have to have because you all know you get everyone's best every time you go out there?
I think, we are all so honored to wear the crest on our chest, and every team that comes out is going to play their hardest game against us because they know we're a bunch of really tough girls who are ready to win. And so I just think that, when you put that jersey on, you do have to take the target on your back. And the chemistry piece, there's a groove on the field that at some point, the soccer, you can only be so good. And so you got to have the fight and the heart and you have to want to win for the teammate next to you. And so I think that's what, we were kind of missing a little bit last season, but we've kind of got back on track this season.
From Maddie, obviously, all the way, working out from her. I mean, you've got a great piece to start right there. What do you like most about this team as you guys get set to take on the Buccaneers of Charleston Southern on Thursday night?
Oh man, so many different things. I think the work ethic, the desire to be successful from every single person, I think that's big. I don't think we have a single person on our team who is not 110% committed to the girl next to them. So I think that is one of my favorite parts, but honestly, just the people. Like, I can't even fathom from every single coach to every single player, there's not a single person on that team that is not valued and important and is not loved. And so to me, being able to go to practice every day and see a bunch of girls who love each other and want the best for each other is easily my favorite part.
You mentioned the competitive part about this. I mean, you come from a background where, your dad, grandfather, you now played competitive athletics. Just what's it been like to share, your journey with people who have also, played competitive sports at a high level like you are now playing Division I soccer?
I mean, yeah, from the minute I grew up, like at 3 years old, I was dribbling a basketball left-handed and right-handed because you can't be only good at your right hand. And everything I did was a competition growing up. I have two little sisters, and every single thing, whether we were on the playground doing an obstacle course or we were going up to the gym to shoot baskets or play volleyball, like it was always a competition. And it's really cool to be in a place where everyone has that mindset now. In high school, people are playing sports for a bunch of different reasons, and it's great. But being on a team where everyone is just as competitive as you are, wants to win just as bad as you are, it's a really unique experience, I think, and I think one that might be even unique to the Naval Academy. So
Because of Navy being so unique and playing Division I athletics on top of, trying to master a great education, whether they seek it out or not, do you hope in some way that you are providing, a bit of a role model for your younger sisters to follow, whether it's, eventually at Navy or somewhere else, to just say, hey, big sis is doing it. We can go out and achieve things too.
yeah, for sure. I think it's one thing. I always looked up to the high school soccer players when I was a young girl, and seeing these, women on TV, and it's really cool to see their successes. I think for my little sisters, it's really cool when I get to go home now that every day we're up at the gym and I'm like, all right, we're going to run sprints, whether you like it or not. But if you're going to be a college athlete, that's what it's going to take. And so every morning they get up and happy to do it. And they come out there and they push me and I push them, and we all get better together. And then we go in and we lift, and then we go out to the field and shoot and do drills. And I think seeing that level of dedication is what it takes. I think it's good for them. And, even to little girls who will come up to us after the soccer game and say, like, want our autograph and stuff like that. It's like, there's a lot of times where you realize, like, you're playing for the little girl that you used to be too. And when that was you, and all the dreams that you had, and now that they're a reality for me, being able to be that role model for someone else is I'm really lucky.
Yeah, well said. I'm the father of a 15-year-old daughter who aspires to play sports one day. To be a woman, to see how far women's sports have come. Your coach, of course, laying some of the groundwork for women's soccer on the national level, and to see where that has gone now. But just to see how much more respect women's sports is getting and being a part of it now. How do you feel about that? And what's it like, as you mentioned, there are little girls who recognize you going off the field and want a piece of Rylee Rives now attention as you walk off the field.
I think it's awesome. I grew up on the sidelines of a football team, and every day I was out there at their practice and in the weight room with them. And so I never really realized what it meant to be a female athlete, because I was just always surrounded by all of these men who are really great athletes. And so growing up and then going into high school where, there are a lot of female athletes around you, you realize it's a little different than when you're hanging out around the men athletes. And so coming to the academy, I think you have to earn the respect. And seeing people like my coach who she's just a beast and she's done so much for women's sports. I think it's not easy. Not everyone's still going to respect you being a female athlete, and not everyone's going to respect that. But I think we've come a long way, and I think I got a lot of hope for the next generation. I think we're trending in a good direction.
Amen. Appreciate the time this morning, Rylee. Awesome stuff. Best of luck to you and your teammates for a healthy and successful 2023 season. Appreciate the time this morning.
Awesome. Thank you.